So we've learned quite a few lessons, even though, as I said, we're still at just the end of the beginning. The first lesson really is about integration, right? You can't just blindly say, I'm going to take this system and put it out on the cloud without thinking about the other mission or enterprise systems that it interacts with and how that interaction might change or need to be adjusted after you've migrated it onto a commercial cloud platform. Okay. The second thing, and this was one that I think, at least in my case, surprised me a little bit, was the connectivity issue. All right. If you're going to start moving data-intensive workloads out to a cloud provider, off-prem, then you have to think about, do I have sufficient connectivity, sufficient bandwidth to really make that stuff work when it's no longer right in my data center? And it's not the same as sort of your standard internet bandwidth that you use for employees web browsing or getting email. It needs to be highly reliable, and it needs to be enough bandwidth for the data that you're delivering out to the cloud application and what it delivers back to you. So that was one that you need to model that out ahead of time. That's what we're doing for several workloads that we're considering migrating now. We actually have our modeling and simulation guys figuring out, well, how much bandwidth is that going to need? Okay. So before making a major move, I would recommend anybody do that. And then the last one I'll mention is sort of policy and practice, right? A lot of our policies, and I'm most familiar with the security policies, are oriented towards or contain implicit assumptions about that the thing you're securing or the thing you're approving or accrediting is on your premise, in your data center, and is fairly static. Okay, none of those things are true in a cloud environment, right? Things are more dynamic and elastic. They're not living in your data center, they're living at the provider. So how do we need to adjust our security policies or our compliance approval policies and the practices of actually doing, say, security testing and security accreditation to that environment? And that's something that we're working through right now with several experts in my organization, the Capabilities Directorate, on how to adjust those practices to make bringing new cloud services online and moving mission workloads smoother.